How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Just a warning and a note before we begin this video, there will be spoilers for Critical Role Campaign 3 episode 33 in this video. That is the nature of what we're talking about. If you have not seen the episode, consider yourself warned right now. Now, for those of you who have seen the episode, just what the was that? Our cast found themselves in a sticky situation, ultimately resulting in two character deaths, and from everything about the situation that we know currently, they seem like most likely permanent character deaths. This got me wondering and thinking, because death is a very interesting subject in D&D. There's a lot of different hot takes one might see on resurrection and death, especially in 5e Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of people feel like 5e has kind of cheapened the stake of death and kind of the vanilla 5e without any homebrew or anything like that, and just the easeability of bringing a character up or being able to resurrect another character. So it got me wondering, while I love Fern and I do enjoy Orem a lot, would I be mad or upset if somehow they weren't actually dead? It's kind of a funny question, right? And I guess it really determines on what you value in your roleplay or in Dungeons and Dragons, all of which are valid, by the way. But that being said, I definitely have my own preference for how I play characters and how I view and like death in my role-playing games. Generally, I play characters that are like one-life characters or characters with like strict rules for permadeath. Personally, it makes me feel like I have more at stake with the character, and it makes me way more invested, even if I genuinely really love the characters. Because of the sudden nature of the character deaths in last episode of Critical Role, it has a bunch of people wondering, are these actual deaths? Like, just what exactly is going to happen? The episode ended with a kind of fade to white and Imogen doing some crazy magic, so we have no idea until next episode just exactly what is going to happen, so it leaves a ton of speculation for the audience. I know a lot of the fans want Orem and Fern to come back, but from what we know about the current situation that they're in, it sure seems like it would be really hard for them to resurrect them in any way, unless some crazy events transpire after Imogen casts this crazy magic. Player character death is one of those things in D&D that's like, can be really tricky sometimes. Everyone's different in terms of how they want to do their roleplay and what their possible investment levels in their character, and how they deal with death and potentially permanent death in Dungeons and Dragons. Real quick, guys, then we'll get back to the video. I just wanted to say that these videos are made possible and sponsored by you all, you, the audience. Yes, you all, by watching this video, liking, commenting, subscribing, or supporting me on any of my other links, such as Patreon, or donating to me directly, make these videos possible. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this. It really does mean a lot to me. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the strange, spooky, the mysterious, and the unexplained, why don't you go check out our new project channel, Dr. Novus, where we do exactly that in storytelling format, at least one video a week. Go check it out if that's something that you seem interested in. Let's get back to the video. So what if this does happen? What if all of a sudden in next episode the cast just find themselves, I don't know, let's say on some weird city in the moon, and then it's made available for Orem and Fern to be resurrected? Would that be fulfilling? Would that feel good to us as a cast or as a storytelling device? Would it make even their deaths like mean anything at all? Well, I'd be super happy to have some of my favorite characters back, as I absolutely love Fern. I'm just not sure how I would feel if something like that ends up happening. A campaign 2 spoiler right here.
Spoiler warning.
The only thing that we've had that really compares to the goings on in this character death situation is what happened with Molly and his death early on in campaign 2, and the whole combat on the road with Lorenzo. They were in a situation as well where it just wasn't possible to resurrect Molly. They didn't have the magic on hand to do it, if I remember correctly. They were just too low enough level and not anywhere close to like a cleric or like a town where they could pay for possible resurrection. This seems like a situation that's possibly similar. The only thing I could think of, actually, now off the top of my head, now that I think about it, is if somehow they're able to go back into Bosseros. Bosseros is a big enough city that possibly there's some kind of a church or temple where a resurrection spell could be performed. Maybe. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just their game and it's their story, and I'll enjoy watching it irregardless of what the outcome is, because I enjoy these characters. But it does make me wonder, and it's something that personally I feel is tough with 5e D&D. I'm really glad that some of the DMs that I play with make some adjustments to a lot of the rules in 5e and make it feel like it's a lot more life threatening, and that like dying and character death really seems to mean a lot more in my games, because just a lot of times rules as written, games run vanilla, it just can feel like it falls really flat. Ultimately, roleplay is kind of subject to the person that's doing the roleplay and what they enjoy and what they like to do. That's really the beauty of it. Personally, my tendencies are to make death high stakes and to play characters that are either one life, or it's extremely hard to convince me or to convince the character to come back to life. Because sometimes to me, it just feels really cheap that I could die in a combat and then my cleric could turn to me and just cast Revivify and my character's just alive. And this could happen multiple times across my character's life, and that wouldn't do something to them like messed up, you know what I mean? Another thing that I used to do, I would retire characters after a couple of reses, because like I said, think about being brought back to life multiple times and just how much that would weigh on like an actual person's psyche if we're trying to play them. Obviously, this is just my style of roleplay and something that I like, but I can already see it right now. I can already see the Reddit posts being typed if for some reason and somehow these characters get resurrected. There will be a whole section of the fan base that will rise up and complain about the cheapness of death in D&D and how this is bullshit or XYZ. At the same time, though, there is a section of the fan base that I know, if they are permanently dead, will be genuinely upset and share those emotions probably online somewhere, that they should have revived them if it was possible. Let me know in the comments down below, how would you react if these two characters were suddenly revived next episode? Would it bother you in any way? As well, do you feel like 5e D&D has a problem with combat and the availability of resurrection magic and spells in upper to mid level? Do you feel like it's really hard for you to actually kill a character? Because personally, in my opinion, if you have a homie who's a good ass cleric, you never dying. You are never dying unless something goes horribly wrong and then the whole party dies. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Recently, I started a new project in a new channel called Dr. Novus, where we explore the spooky, unexplained, and mysterious in storytelling format, kind of a true crime-esque show. If you enjoy something like that, or it sounds like that would be interesting to you, go check it out. Click the link above. Don't forget to check out some of our other Critical Role videos, and as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. New theory video on the way. Stay safe out there. Peace, love. I'll do.